Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Mehraj and Sarah? How are you both?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So today we are in the 8th class of Python and C++. So this is the outline of today's presentation. I have to do some of the announcement for you. We have a drive folder. You know about it, right? We have a drive folder where we kept all the necessary class PDF and videos. In that folder, I have uploaded some of the files in the subfolder called assignments and resources for you. Using that files, you can practice some of the programs, okay? And I have to announce that we are going to have a test for C++ and Python. So this is compulsory and we need to test our skills up to how much we have learned from these classes. So the test will be either on Friday, this Friday, or Sunday. So it will be decided based upon your convenience. So please tell me which day will be easier for you to attend this test. Friday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Or shall we postpone it to the next week? If you are comfortable, then we'll take the test this week, or if not, we'll take it next week. And in the test, what you need to do is just to revise the slides that I have shared. And if you are not getting any of the concept, you can just go to the video and see what we were doing. And mashallah, you are doing the homeworks very well. So the test will be in the same level. I hope you can do the test also very well. So you want it on Sunday or the next week?
This Sunday.
This Sunday? Okay, inshallah. We'll have C++ and Python test too. So these two tests will be different. I'll share you the links online and then you can do it there. I have created the WhatsApp group, separate WhatsApp group for Python so that you can send all your homeworks there in the group. And I have something else for you, which is project. Okay, and I want you to do some good project and gain hands-on experience on these two programming languages. The project, you might have known that in every course, especially the course which is involving coding, it requires to do some project. Here we have this scenario, but in our in India, when we were studying, we had only one mini project and one major project. But here, when a student is in BTech, for every subject, he will do one project. A project, it can be an application or some of the, it can be anything. I'll give you some of the ideas of project. What you can do is you can either take machine learning. In that it's a bit complicated, but it's a very promising for your future. You can choose the area of automation and scripting. It's the second level. First is the machine learning, which is the toughest nowadays, and second level is machine learning, and the third would be, in my opinion, easier for you, a web development, where we'll be using some of the skills of HTML, and we'll try to do the coding and development using any of these programming languages, which is C++ or Python. So it depends on you what you want to choose. You want to only do a project which is only Python based, or only C++ based, or in mix Python and HTML, mix C++ and HTML, or mix all these three, Python, C++ and HTML. Okay, so the reason why I am trying you to do such comprehensive, I mean mixed interrelated project is I want you to be prepared for the future. You know, only we Indians, we have this understanding that when we are learning one kind of programming languages, we cannot learn the other one. And when we are trying to solve something with one language, we cannot do it, we cannot use other language. No, this is not the case. Nowadays people are using all the languages together and trying to get the results that they want. And you will be at the topmost level if you are proficient with all the programming languages. Okay, you don't have to be the super or the perfection level, but you need to know every programming language. In this way, nobody is expert in anything. Okay, you need to know the basics of every programming language, and later on when you are programming, when you are actually doing the experiment, you will get to know that which is the programming language where I am being attracted, or where I am feeling very comfortable and happy in coding. So to that programming language you will go and stick. Okay, so this is the thing. And I want everybody to do an individual project, single project. I'll guide you how you will do that. I'll give you some of the guidelines, like I will just write one paragraph about a project and you can choose any one of those projects. Okay, I'm trying to help you to identify a project how we can do. And if Sarah and Mehraj, if you are in your engineering, then you can use this project as your mini or major project too. This will help you in your college too. Okay, do you have any doubts, any questions regarding project or something? Because whenever project discussion is done and we get to know that we have to do project, then we had so many doubts. Every time we'll have so many doubts for project. You don't have any doubts? Maybe because I said that I will help you in doing that. That's why you don't have any doubts in this, right? Okay, you are not speaking. Are you scared? Shall we skip project?
No.
But little,
No.
but little scared, right?
No idea about it, so
But
unable to
inshallah,
speak.
you will do it. You know, I'll inshallah help you to do it step by step. Like just now, you have done so many assignments. Mashallah, you are doing good. Even though you are from civil engineering, you're doing good. In the same way, we will go step by step. How we can develop a one project. Okay, in the next class, I'll help you. Just be prepared that we are going to do something good, and we'll see that what we can do. Okay, and please share all your homeworks and all your assignments in the group so that others will also get interest and they will follow you. Okay, inshallah. Now we'll go with the C++, some of the topics that I had to finish. As I have told in the last class about strings in Python, now I would like to show some of the string concatenation and adding up strings in C++. It's also very simple in C++. I'll just give you an overview so that you can build it up on this later. We know that character, it holds only one single character, one single letter, whereas string can hold a sequence of characters or sentences. But we'll use the same cout stream for displaying these two objects, displaying these two things. Okay, whenever you are storing something in char or string, you can display this using cout. So we know that if we are trying to take an input from the user, we have not experimented the strings, right? We have experimented all the integers, but we did not do the strings. That's why I wanted you to have some hands-on experience for the strings. Why it's coming here? I don't want this. Okay. Let me comment this thing. I was just trying to do something for the class. Okay. And yeah, we'll try to initialize string as str. Str is my variable which is of string type and it can store any of this string, and cr is a variable which is of character type. So here if I write I can also use cin to take the character, and I can also use cin to take the string. But we have something good. If I write cin, then it will not take spaces. Whenever you have some space in your sentence or in that big string, it will stop there. And that's the reason we'll not use cin when we are trying to take input of string format with spaces. In that case, we'll be using getLine. It's as per its definition, getLine. It can get any number of lines that you want to input. And getLine will have two arguments. This is a predefined function which will take two arguments. In the first argument, it has to say that something has to be taken inside. Cin specifies that something has to be taken inside, and where it has to be stored in the variable string. Okay, this is the syntax for storing a line of a string. Okay, and if you want to get a character like this, you can also use cin like this or cin.getCR. Okay, for now I will remove this and let's just try to see if it's really giving us what we need. Okay, I'll write endl here so that we are very clear of what's happening. I am trying to take the input from the user, okay, here, and then I am printing that input here. Okay, now let us run this. I hope there are no errors. Yeah, it's asking me to enter something because I did not give any lines of sentences to enter something, so it's not showing. Hello, I'll write something like this. Hello, how are you? This is a line, a string of characters. Now I press enter. So why isn't it not showing me anything? Because after taking this get line, it has something to take again. What is that something? It's a character. Let me give, okay, why? It's a character. So now it printed using the cout statement. This is, I had to show you that the string and a character can also be printed with the cout, and this is the input thing. Okay. Yeah, the next it's the same thing. This thing I have just shown you. Now you know, strings can be used for assigning values. Strings can be joined together. They can be concatenated. Concatenation means adding one to another. For example, your name is something like this, Alia, and another your last name is Tabassum, and you want to concatenate them together. Then it will be seen as Alia and Tabassum. So you can experiment this with yourself. Here I am trying to assign strings, a string, a variable which is called as words. Okay, words is a variable which is of string type and it's taking some string. What is that string? Delicious. And now I am trying to join another two strings. I am taking another two strings. One is and second is Ali. And now I am trying to concatenate or join these two strings into the third string. This is desert, S1 plus S2. Then what will be stored in the desert? This and this Ali, Ali. This will be stored in desert. See here, another way I am trying to, what I am doing here, I am assigning, okay, I have to write it here, I think, because it will be much easier. For example, I'm writing something like this: sum plus equals I. Okay, I'm writing this again: sum equals sum plus I. You know, these two lines of statements are exactly same. They mean the same. Here, instead of writing sum for the two times, what we are doing is removing this sum and placing this plus here. When we place this plus here, what it means, add sum to sum. Add this sum to sum and then increment this thing. Okay. So it's by default, this is the syntax. Okay, here it's showing the same thing. What we are doing, words is here. We are taking words equal to words plus dessert. What is the dessert? It's here. What is the words? It's here. So it will be printed as delicious Ali. One thing I missed in the last class of switch statement is the expression that it's going to take inside the switch. The value that it takes inside this switch is only character or int. In the flow of explanation, I told you that it can take character, int, float, or anything, but it will not take. Okay, I have just skipped that thing. In the flow I have told you, but it will take only character and int. Okay, because it has to go case by case. When we are saying case 1, what will be the second thing? Case 2, case 3. It cannot be case 1.5 or case 1.2, right? So it will not take any of the float numbers. Okay, we are good, right? We are going good. And it cannot take any of the strings. The cases cannot be named by strings. The numbering, whenever you are doing some kind of numbering, what you will use, either numbers 1, 2, 3 or letters A, B, C, D, so on. So only the numbering things can be used in the switch. Okay. Yeah. This concept of local and global, or local or global scope is very important, and it is there in every programming language. Not only C++, it's there in C, it's there in Python, it's there in Java, and everywhere. Scope is something which is within that. Okay. Yeah. So I'll show you something here with an example. So let me initialize one variable here. Okay, initialize one number, int x equals 10. Okay, this int x equals 10, this is inside the main function. Okay, inside the main function. I have not told you about functions, but I would be using one single function here so that I explain you the idea of scope. Let me use some function name. For example, it's a function of integer type, and its name is sum, and its purpose is to sum two of the variables. For example, index and int y. Just I'm giving you one simple demo. Okay, here. So consider this as a function for now. It's doing something, and here I gave y equals 10. Now I am trying to use x plus y here. Okay, so what I want to tell you is, when I have initialized this y here, it means this y is local to this function itself. The scope of this y is within this curly braces 1 and 2. these two curly braces. And the value of x equals 10 is local to this int. Whereas if I include this int x equals 10 here, top of the main, it will be accessed in every function. Either it can be a main function or a defined function, or wherever you want in that program. In this console, in this page, you can use this x equals to 10 everywhere. So this is a global space or global scope. This is in the global scope. Whereas this x equals 20. Just tell me now, I have given x equals to 20 here and x equals to 10 here, and I want to print x value. I want to print the x value here. What will be printed?
20.
Very good. 20 will be printed. Always it gives importance to the local scope, and the local value will be printed. Okay? We can replace it. These kind of global scope variables are used when we require this variable in every function. So this is useful. We'll get the use of these kind of variables later, inshallah. So this is what I wanted you to understand, and when we'll move forward. See here, yeah, it's the same. Yeah. Here in this example, you can try it by yourself. You can code it after we finish the class. We have initialized x equals 0 and checking the condition if x is really equal to 0, then initialize x as 5 and y as 4. Then we have given some x equal to 3 again, okay? This is the x values changing here. We are printing x equals something, okay? So this value will be changed here as per the condition. What would be the value of y here? Okay.
4. 4.
It will take 4 value. You can experiment these kind of things and try to understand wherever a variable is covering its scope, wherever it is accessible, you have to understand. If you don't understand this, you will face some problems and errors. Okay, now we'll go to one of the very important topic that I have to cover in C++ and Python too, which is called a loop. Loop is something which is repeating every time. So here the repetition will be done based on some kind of condition. Okay, the condition can be of different types. For example, if I said just calculate the average marks of all the students and print those who are above 50. Okay, so above 50 will be so many students in the class. So we have to go and check each of the students in the class, right? We have to loop through all the students. We have drawn a flow chart of using this repetition thing, right? So if you have drawn that flow chart, you will get very easy idea of how a loop works. Okay, in the loop, two are the major things. One is the condition and another thing is the iteration or increment or decrement, we can say. I'll explain you with the syntax, okay? You will understand it in a better way, okay? We usually we have only two different kinds of loops. One is a conditional loop, another is a count control loop. For example, I told you, give me only the numbers which are divisible by 2. So tell me, is this in the category of conditional or count controlled? You can understand it by just its definitions. You can understand by the definition of conditional, and you can understand by the definition of count controlled. In the count
Okay.
control, it's saying that something
Conditional
is
loop.
being controlled. Okay, something is being counted and controlled. In the condition, it's saying that the condition is being checked. So when I told you only print the values which are divisible by 2, is this conditional or count controlled?
Conditional loop.
Okay, how?
Because whatever we given the number, it have only the one condition, which divided modulo by 2 equal to 0.
Very good.
So we don't
Inshallah.
have any iteration here.
Very
That check the input.
Now another question for all of you, but this time Mr. Wazir is not going to answer. We have to print all the numbers from 1 to 30. What is the type of loop that we have to use for this problem? We have to print the numbers from 1 to 30.
For loop. For loop.
You are saying what loop we will use for it. I am asking what type of loop will you use for it? Will it be a conditional loop or will it be a count controlled loop?
Count control loop.
Very good. That will be a controlled loop. How we are controlling the loop? We are starting it from 1 and controlling and counting until it goes to 30. Okay. Alhamdulillah. We have understood it, right? In C++, these are the 3 major categories of loops that we see every time. While, do while, and for loop. Okay. So today I'll just explain you while and do while, because these two are similar. We will go to for in the next class, inshallah. So at the same time, I will explain you the syntax of while loop in Python too. So do not be bored with the C++. You know why I am explaining C++ thing with Python? If you understand, actually C++ is a very syntax based language, and it has so many rules and it has so many definitions, so many explanations. If you understand C++, such a thing which is very controlled and very definition type and syntactical language, then it will become easy for you to understand Python. It will be just, I don't have to explain you anything. When you have understood this high level definitions, then Python is nothing. You will understand it by just seeing. Okay. So now we'll try to understand the while loop. Here, always remember for example, if it's a statement or if it's a loop or if it's some function, it will have a keyword. When I said statement, it can be if statement. Okay. If is a statement, while is a loop, main is a function. You have to understand this difference and always remember the terminology. If you don't know the terminology, you will not be called as a geek guy. I mean the tech guy. Okay. Like when we are discussing something with our developers or somewhere, if you mistakenly say while statement, then that will be a very bad impression for you. So you need to understand. Okay. This is a loop. The names, the terminology are as per its definition. Looping, you can remember it just. Okay. This keyword while we write, it's a case sensitive language, so everything should be in the small letters. And condition will follow this while keyword. Here the condition, we have to keep the brackets. This is must, and we will have an open and closed curly braces. This is must. And whatever statements you need to have, you have to have it within this while loop with a semicolon for every statement. How it works? The flow control of while loop is this way. You have to give some condition. First, the condition is checked. If the condition is true, the statements are executed and then it goes. Then condition check. If it's true, statements. Then it goes. True, like this. If the condition is false, what happens? It will exit the while loop. Okay. One simple question here. If I have only, okay, one question, try to answer it by the term itself. Is this a pre-condition loop or post-condition loop? Pre-condition or post-condition? Pre means first. Post means after. It's pre. Very good. Who's that? Mehraj?
Yes.
Okay, very good. MashaAllah. I am very happy with all of you. My students are very less, but they are very intelligent, MashaAllah. Yeah. Here is something I have to mention, that if you have only one statement in this while, you don't have to keep the curly braces. You can remove the curly braces. Here, the condition, you know, whenever it's checked, we have seen it in the if statement. If true and something will be executed. In the same way, when the condition is true, then it will return true or false here. Okay. So the loops and the statements work as per the Boolean variables. Okay. Just wait a minute. Yeah. So here we have to remember always that it will be taking the Boolean values. If the condition is true, it will be taken as 0 or 1. Okay, like this. Yeah, we'll move forward. Yeah, this is one simple example. I'll just try to give you here. We'll do a quick demo of while loop so that you can practice it at home too. Mr. Wazir, do you have C++ compiler?
No, ma'am. If you need, I can. Shall I type and give you? In the Notepad++, I can try.
No, no problem. Just I was asking because you were executing yesterday, right? So I asked you.
Yes.
So let us try to print numbers from 1 to 10. Okay. Let me initialize x equals 1. And then what I have to do, I have to give condition, right? My condition has to be until what number? Until 1 to 10 I have to print. So what I have to give here is something should be less than or equal to 10. That thing I understood. Okay. Less than or equal to 10. Okay. So can I give x here? X is starting from 1. Okay. Starting from 1 until 10. Okay. This is the curly brace that I want to give. Then this is another curly brace. I try to print the value here. Okay. What value do we have to print? X value. Okay. And let me write endl so that after every value printed after X, it will give me the next value in the next line. We are missing something here. I have initialized the value X and I have given some condition, but I have to say that after printing this X, please increment the X. For that thing, I will write I plus plus.
Okay.
Or you can write like this. I equals I plus
1.
Plus 1. So these two are same. These two are syntactically same. I plus plus or I equals I plus 1.
I think X++.
Ah, you are right. We have to write x plus plus because we have used x variable. And let us try to run this here and see what it's printing. It's giving us the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, if I want to print only the numbers, okay, let us print the numbers from 10 to 1. How can I do this? You have to tell me now. From 10 to 1.
I equal no,
Okay, x equals
greater than or equal to 1.
X minus minus.
Less than or equal to 1.
Okay, I have to write x minus minus. I am starting x from 10. X minus minus. What should be my condition here?
Less than
10 is greater than or equal to.
Greater than, okay,
Equal to-
greater than or equals to
0.
0.
1.
You can, if you keep 0, it will print until 0. If you keep 1, it will print until 1. Okay. So we got it from 10 to 0. Very good, mashallah. So we'll move forward. Here we are trying to write a program which will print the numbers in a range. Range, I mean to say, from a starting point to an ending point, from a minimum to a maximum. So what we need to customize in this program, we have to remove this x equals this one and this condition. What we have to keep, we have to take the input from the user, see out, and as the user enter, for example, the starting point. Okay, and when the user enters the starting point, we will read it as something like this, minimum. Okay, I will initialize x, remove this x, and minimum to maximum. The same way, I'll ask the user to give the maximum value, ending point, and I write it as max. Now I have to run the loop from where to where? Yes, from where to where? Where I have to start? I have to start from minimum and I have to end at maximum. So in the place of x, what has to be here? It should minimum. Okay, very good. And we will be printing minimum and we will be incrementing the minimum. What should be the condition here? The minimum has to run from minimum value until the maximum value by incrementing 1. We are already incrementing this minimum value here and we are printing. What should be the condition here?
Minimum greater than or equal to.
Maximum.
Minimum greater than.
Really? Shall I run this program?
Minimum equal to minimum.
Less than.
Okay, just try to understand it here. Let me give the starting point 1 and let me give the starting point 5, ending point 5. So where I am starting 1 and I have to go until 5. So always remember the minimum value will be less or equals to the maximum after looping. It will go from least value until the maximum value. Okay, so always it will be less than or equals to. From here, one value we have to increment. The increment thing you might have understood it. I don't have to explain it. And this will print whatever we have thought of. 1, the starting point I am giving, and the ending point as 5, and it gave me 1 to 5. Yeah. And if I have to print it from backward, if I want to print it from in the reverse order, what I have to do? In the reverse order, from maximum to minimum.
Greater than.
Max greater than or equal to min.
Max is always greater than or equals to minimum, and this max has to be printed, and this max has to be decreased.
Minus.
Very good. And we'll move forward. So, okay, just I'll give you some question here. Okay, I'll take some minimum value, assume that minimum value is 5. Okay, for now, assume minimum is 5. And I am giving the condition minimum is greater than or equals to 0. And after that, I am saying that, okay, I'll keep it here, minimum. And I'll try to increment minimum, plus plus. Tell me what happens here. What I have done, see in minimum, and I am telling you beforehand that I am taking the minimum value as 5, and I am giving this condition. What will happen here? Okay, let us debug this thing. Let us try to understand it by step. Minimum is 5. Now, okay.
5 greater than or equal to is false.
5 is greater than or equals to, yes, it's true. So it will enter the loop and it will give you the value of 5. It will be printed here. Good. After printing, what it will do? It will increment the 5 value to 6, right?
Yes.
So the checking will go here again. Now this time the value of 6 is, value of minimum is 6. 6 is greater than or equal to 0. Yes, true. And then it will print 6. And this time the value will be 7. So how many times will the loop run?
Infinitive loop.
Very good. It is an infinite loop. It's never ending loop. Numbers has no end. If I try to run it now, maybe this online compiler will just shut down. That's the reason I'm not going to run this program. So you have to be very careful when you are giving condition. You don't have to give the default conditions which are really true. And if you are negligible in giving like this conditions, your programs will go on running and they enter into infinite loops. Okay, so this is one simple example that I wanted you to show about the infinite loop and such kind of errors. So yeah, this thing you understood, it is an increment operator, and this thing you understood as a decrement operator. Let me tell you, we also have like this operator, plus plus minimum, and we also has minus minus minimum. Okay, we have minimum plus plus and minimum minus minus. Okay, minus minus. So let me help you to understand the difference between these two types of increment and increment operators. So is this a binary operator or unary operator? Okay, I'll just throw you the definition of unary and binary. Unary operator is an operator which will operate on only one variable or only one operand. Operand means, for example, A plus B. Oh, I need just B. Okay. A and B are being computed by using the sum operator. This plus is an operator. B and A are operands. These are the two operands. Here, plus is one single operator and we have two operands. So this plus will be a binary operator. This will operate on by two numbers or two variables or two operands. Okay, you got it right. So these are the unary operator which will operate on one variable, unary operator, but of a different kind. So when we said increment minimum of plus plus, what's happening? Minimum value is being incremented by 1. When we are saying minimum minus minus, minimum value is being decremented by 1. Here the case is same, but what is the single difference is, first the value will be incremented and then the value will be stored. Here the value will be stored and then incremented. Okay. Okay, I'll just give you one simple example here. What we do, we'll remove all this thing. Okay, see out. Let us just try to do plus plus. I'll remove all this. Minimum equal to 5. Now we will give the value of minimum. Okay, and then I'll give an handle here so that it prints in the next line. I will give you something else like this. What I'll do is, I will ask, I don't know if this will accept it here or not. Let me check. If it's not accepting, I'll try something else. Coding is just trying. You have to always try which will give you the correct answer. Okay. Oh, sorry, I have pressed something. See what's happening here. When I told to print minimum, it gave me the value 5. When I told to print minimum plus plus, what it gave me? 5. And then when after giving the value 5, it incremented. So now the value of minimum is 6. After printing, it's incrementing. Here what it's doing? First incrementing and then printing. You got it? 6 plus 1, the new value is 7. First it's incrementing and then giving you the value. You got it? No? Okay, shall I explain again? Okay, this time what I do, okay, yeah, this time I'll remove that one. Just we'll try to understand this plus plus minimum, what's happening here. I gave the value 5 here, and what it printed, see, the minimum value is 5, but when I asked to print plus plus of minimum, what it's printing? Adding 1 to minimum and then printing. Okay, this thing I change here, minimum plus plus. What it will give me? First print.
5.
First print and then it will increment. Okay, now what I'll do? Okay, it has incremented after printing. Let me check what is the value now. What is the value now? Okay, let us check. After a, yes, it's 6. It has printed and then incremented, that value is stored, and this gave us the 6 value. Okay, you understood the difference between these two operators, right? So there are some notes for you. We call it as a prefix mode and postfix mode. Postfix means after, prefix means before. And here you have some kind of examples. You can try it. Okay, yeah, I have explained you this. Yeah, something you have to understand that you can use in this way, just now we have used it, right? You can use the increment and decrement operators with arithmetic operators like this plus, but you cannot use two two numbers and then plus plus like this. This is not applicable in C++, okay? But you can also use for relational operators, for less than, greater than, and some logical operators, you can use it, okay? Here, while loop for input validation. Input validation, it means checking of condition, checking if the condition is really valid or not. So here I just try to explain this simple example. Here we are trying to take one number which can be from 1 to 100. After taking that number, we are giving two conditions. Either one of the condition has to match. First condition is number is less than 1 or number should be greater than 100. Okay, we are asking the user to enter from 1 to 100 and this is the condition here. Less than 1 or greater than 100. How? It cannot, this will not be valid, right? When we are entering from in between 1 to 100, this condition will not be valid, isn't it? So this example is for you to understand what is meant by validation, what is meant by valid, what is meant by correct condition. This thing I want you to understand here with this example. When we have some range, condition has to be in that range itself. Okay? Got it?
Yes.
Okay. The number is in between this and the condition is beyond this. So this nothing will goes on here. Neither this condition is true, neither this condition is true. That's why this while loop is not executed. Yeah, some of the common errors that you will be doing while using while loop. So always be careful in using loops. Sometimes what we do is for assigning, for checking for example here, okay, if I want to check if I equals to 1, what does this mean? If I equals to 1, it's like initialization, it's like assigning value. When I say I equals 1, what does this mean? It's checking. Okay, checking is different than assigning and initialization. I equals to 1 is assignment or assigning or initialization, whereas this one is checking. This is same in Python. This checking is same in Python and even the assignment is same. Okay, the terminologies are also same. Yeah. This is one example of count control where we are trying to sum all the numbers from 1 to 10. I'll give you this example in Python, that will be easier for us, inshallah. Yeah, this is another example here. We are trying to take a number from user and summing all the numbers that summing all the numbers from the number that user has entered until 10. Okay, this thing you can understand it by your homework or something. Another keyword is sentinel. Sentinel is something which is used to end a loop or to end a condition. So for terminating some kind of loop, we use sentinels. Sentinels, it's like here, see. So sometimes we'll not give any condition, but we'll say that we'll have only one condition. If the power is off, go to sleep, or else study whole day. If the power is off, go to sleep, or else study whole day. So if there is only one condition for deciding something, for such kind of conditions, we'll use sentinels, which is only one thing. Based on that one thing, the whole loop will be running. So this loop will be running until the points will not be equal to -1. Okay. Firstly, you can keep it anything here. You can keep anything here. It's just one example for you. Yeah. We'll go to the while loop. It's very similar to while loop, only some of the syntax is different. It's here we have do, and then we have open and close brackets, and we have the while condition at the bottom, but we have something here which is semicolon. We'll not have semicolon for the while loop, but we'll have it for the do while loop. So here we'll have all the statements. See, it's like this. See the flow control of do while loop. We have the statements. This is do and some statements, and then conditions. Check this conditions. If it's false, get out of it. Now tell me if this is a pre-condition loop or post-condition loop.
Post condition.
Post.
No, preconditional. Oh, sorry, post-conditional, yes.
Very good. This is post-condition loop. Yeah. This thing, if you remember the while loop, I'll go to the syntax of while loop. Yeah. This is the while loop. If the condition is false, will any of the statements be executed in while loop?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, good. See the do while loop now. See the do while loop. Try to see this one. Okay. If the condition is false, does any of the statements will get executed?
Yes.
Yes.
No, before while it executed, after while condition false,
Very good.
it will be out.
So only for one single time it will be executed. Yes, for one time the statements will be executed even the condition is false, because first they are executing the statements and then giving the condition. Okay. Here, yeah, this is one simple example of do while loop where we are asking the user to enter 3 scores and then give the average of these 3. So it's very simple, just we have added do and while loop here. Okay, do you want me to write it for you, or you can practice it by yourself? Okay, I'll write it for you so that we get some insight. Okay, we'll take the do while loop. How we write do while loop? Do and the brackets, and here the while, and here is the condition, something, we'll keep it later, and I have to keep the semicolon. And now I ask the user enter score, enter, and then I take the score C in as x1. Okay, I need only one, and I need another one too. Enough. I'll initialize this x1 and x2. Done. Now what I have to do is I'll take another number, sum. We'll just do sum. Okay, sum equals sum plus, sorry, sum equals x1 plus x2. Okay, I'm just trying to sum these two numbers. Now see here, what we have is we are trying a check here. What kind of check that we are trying here? It's a character check. We are trying to check if the character is matching as that is entered by the user. Okay. Okay, again equals y. Okay, what this is again, I am asking here, see out, hey user, do you want to enter again? I am asking to the user, do you want it again? So it's, if the user says again, whatever it's, what is the type of again here? Again is a variable. Okay, do not confuse with this, just it's a variable, it is of character type. Okay, char, and I am initializing again. Okay, yeah, And we'll try to run this. Enter. It's asking me to enter. I'll give some variables 1 and 2. Oh no, I did not print the sum, right? I did not print the sum here. Okay. So even though I did not print the sum, but I have given some printing statement. It's asking me, hey, do you want to enter again? If I press Y, then it will give me the same thing, enter again. See, it will be looping again and again. It will be looping like this. You understood it, right? Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, these are some of the examples. This will be a very interesting program for you to do, and this is the program which is behind validation of a password. If you understand this simple thing, you can also try to build a program for password validation. You know what will be there behind the password validation? Whenever you are entering your username and password, there will be a kind of validation that will happen. When you enter wrong password, it says you that it's a wrong password, enter it again. So this is kind of validation. So I'm not saying that they will use only C++ or Python for this thing. They have so many programming languages. They'll use whatever they like and whatever it's giving them high security. So this program is asking to take some password from the user, and if the password is not 1234, then it has to ask the user again to re-enter the password. Okay, so firstly the user has to be given chance to enter the password, and then the password has to be checked if it's 1234. So what kind of loop that I have to use to program this thing?
Do while.
Do while. Please tell me why.
First, it should print, take the password from user, then check if it is matching with the password.
Very good. So the program will ask a user to enter a password. If the password is not this thing, it has to keep asking to the user again and again. So for this same do while loop, we will try to customize. Okay, it's still running. Okay, I will enter something 5 and 5, and no, I don't want it again. So I am out of the loop here. When I press N, I am out of the loop. Okay. So enter password, and what is the type of password that we have here? It's 1234. So how do I have to take it? 1234 as an integer. Let me store it in the pwd as a variable here. I'll change it pwd. Very good. And then what I have to do is I have to check, right? Where can I check?
While condition.
While.
Very good. I can check in the while condition. What do I have to check? The password, right? So I will write pwd.
Password equal to 1234.
Very good. And this is the thing. Let us check if it's giving us what we are expecting. So it's asking me enter password. I'll give just 123. Oh, so here what's happening is, what we are saying, this while condition has to run until the password is not equals to 123. Okay, if it's not equals to 123, then it has to rerun, right? What we gave, if it's equals to 1234, then it should not stop. Please try to understand it. Okay, I'll write here. If password is not 1234, what should be done? It should run, right? So when it's not 1234, this means this condition has to be true. If this condition is true, then only it will run. Are you able to understand? What we need to check if the password is 123 or not. Okay. I will explain you the.
Understood. It's clear.
Okay, you understood it, right? If the password is not 1234, it should run again and again. If it's not, it should run again and again. Okay. If you do 2 or 3 examples like this, you can easily understand it. See, if the password is not 1234, it's running again and again. If I am keeping equals, then what's happening? The condition is becoming false. Oh no, the password is not 1234, and that's why it's exiting the loop. This time, what I'm saying, if the password is not 1234, please repeat. If this is not, then please repeat. If it's equal, we'll stop. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ma'am, one
Yes,
condition here. One doubt.
Yes, please.
Like in the real time, right? They will ask for 3 times password. So how we can add one more condition here? If we try continuously 3 times wrong password,
Here,
then it should be.
yes, you can keep counting. Each time the user has entered the password, you can count it, the number of times. See here, I will initialize this thing. Okay, int equals 1. Okay, and then each time, sorry, I'll not initialize it here. I'll initialize it here. I equals 1. For one-time password entering, what
variable is not there.
Okay, I is not here. Okay, I equals 1. And what I say, I plus plus. Okay, let me print this 2 here. I will print this I2. We can understand it by this thing. Enter password. This is my password 1, 2, 3. What it's okay, because the I++ it has incremented and then printed. That's why it gave me 2. I will remove this. You know what's how it works, right? Okay. If to exit this loop, I have to enter 1, 2, 3, 4. Then only I will exit this loop. First, what I'll do, I'll print the value of I and then increment it. Okay. So this time, enter password. I entered 1 time. I entered 2 times. And I entered, for example, like this 3 times. When I am incrementing, the count is being here, done. And every time when I am, oh no, I have to exit this loop, right? Sorry. Only if I will exit, I will
Your
stop.
audio is on very low volume.
Really? My audio is on very low volume for all of you?
No, it's audible, clearly audible.
Okay. So here what I'll do, when I am checking this I++, the first time entering, after printing I will check if this I equals 3. If this I equals 3, I'll print something. You cannot enter more. You have reached the maximum time, something like this. Okay. And what you will do, you will break. And then it will come out of this loop. You cannot do anything. So this is not only the one way to code. There are many ways which are very complicated and capable. You will enjoy doing this thing. Okay, this is just one way I was trying you to understand. And yeah. So we have done with this program. Now I'll go quickly to the while loop of Python. Okay. this thing. It's same. In Python, we have two major loops that we'll be using, while and for loop. In C++, I explained while and do while. So today, I'll just go with while in Python, and for loop in C++ and Python will go in the next class. So this looping structure is same in Python too. We will have one initialization which was there in C++, a condition and statements, and then increment. So nothing is different. I don't have to explain you. A bit syntax is different. It will not take the curly, the flowery braces, but it will take the condition like this. While and the expression and the statements. How? Let me give some example. This is the while, and I less than some 5, and it will take the colon here. Okay, it will take the colon like the if condition. See here, it's taking the cursor here. So do not move the cursor back or front. It will give you indentation error again. And we'll have some statement. For example, print I. Okay, very good. And then I have to increment. For this increment, I have a bit different here. Okay, oh sorry, I have not initialized I value, right? I have to first initialize the value of I. Here it's showing you, I can give 1 or 2. Here it's showing you the syntax here, this forward or backward, less than or greater than symbol mean that it's must. When something is written in a syntax in smaller than and greater than symbols, then it means that is must, that is compulsory. This way of writing syntaxes is same in every programming language. Either it can be C++ or Java. When you are writing syntax, when something you are representing as a mandatory, you will write in less than or greater than symbols. Okay. I have to write here I plus equals 1, which is actually
The code will work.
Sorry.
Is the code will work by default? Python will take everything as a string, right?
Yes, it will take as a string. You are right.
Then how come you can able to multiply? Add the value here. How are you doing? Actually, here I am declaring I as I equal to 1.
Yeah.
There is no data type here. And I'm in my line number 4. I'm doing addition here. I plus equal to 1.
You have to understand that when I am giving numbers, then it will take it as number itself. It will give.
No, last program, I think in yesterday program.
You remember
Yesterday program
like this input. We have given like this input. When we are taking the input from the console, whatever it's given, it will be considered as a string. And that's the reason we were converting this input as an integer. But when we are
everything, so whatever the data comes from the console from user side, so those data, everything is a string.
Yes, that will be used considered as
like right.
Yes.
Okay, by default inside of program, if you declare inside of program whatever it is, based on the value, it will be treated as a respective data type.
Yes, if I write 1.0, then it will give me as a float. If you remember, we have used one of the predefined function, which was saying about the data type of the variable that we have used. You can find it in any of the videos. I don't remember exactly, maybe in the 3rd or 4th class.
No. I just this understanding. Just I got the information for me, and
yeah. So let us try to run this and see some of the programs in the forward. Our meeting is ending again, so we'll join again for 10 more minutes and then we'll end our class. Okay, inshallah. Okay, we'll join again. Please.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to record. Yeah. Some of the participants who joined in the early stage that we are going to do a project for this thing, I'll explain it at the end of the class again. Okay. For now, let us continue our class and do a 1 or 2 programs, and then we'll end inshallah. Okay. Yeah. Where we are.
One more information. The Python classes only on Tuesday and Wednesday, or what? Actually, earlier it was Tuesday and Thursday, I think.
Yeah, it was the Tuesday and Thursday, but I have got some other commitments during these days, so I have shifted the classes from Tuesday and Wednesday. These 2 days I will take the classes from now. Okay.
Actually, I joined this in this class very late only. For information, this for my benefit only. If there is any information passing in the group, please tell in clearly that if it is a Java class or it is a Python, C plus something. Because like yesterday I got some message. It's a tomorrow at 8:15 something, but I thought it's a Java class. So that's the reason I couldn't join it on time.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you might have saved our numbers.
No, just for information only. No need of sorry, but I just information only,
okay,
so that I can join my on time.
Yeah. Okay, sure, inshallah. And okay, I'll inform it whatever is the class, and I have created a separate group for all of us so that we can communicate well and do project in Python. So that will be very easy for us, and whatever update we'll get, you will get to know about it. I'll add you there in the group, or I'll send you the link. You can join it there. Okay, inshallah.
Okay, is the project is like at the end of the class, or it's every week or week?
We'll be doing, I'll give you as assignments. You will be doing part of the project, like part by part, we'll go on building our project. If it's like end of the class, it will be very hectic and tense, right? So we'll go it step by step. Now you are doing good in assignments and homework, whatever I saw, my alhamdulillah, all of the students. So when you have reached this level, you can of course go on doing the project. I'll give you step by step, okay? Do not worry about it, inshallah. Yeah. So what we were doing is we were trying to print the numbers from 1 to 5 using the while loop. And if I want to do it in the reverse order, the same way I can do it like 5 to 1 and I minus equals to 1. Okay. I can do it in the reverse order. Here, there is one question which we are trying to solve, and let us see what it will print. I have initialized from 0 and I have checked until 10. After that, what I am doing is I am checking if this I percentile of 2 equals 0, then what I need to do is print. Let me check what I'm doing here. Yes, we are printing I here. Print I. This time I have to remove this print I. Okay, I have removed it. And I'll try to run this program. And let's see what's happening, what it's giving. 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. It's actually giving me all the even numbers from 0 until 10. So here the checking we have done I percentile 2. What does this mean? I divided by 2, it will give 0 as the reminder. It means it's divisible by 2. All the numbers which are divisible by 2 are even numbers. Okay. So let us try to write another simple program and see it. Okay, and here it's I from 100 and goes on decreasing. Okay, I is greater than or equals 30. After I write this program, you have to tell me that what we are doing here before I run it. Okay. Yeah. Yes, this is the thing. This is the same. Just tell me what we are going to print with this program. We have initialized from 100. I is greater than or equals to 30. Is that 100 is greater than or equals to 30? Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. And now Let me keep slash here so that it comments. This I, the value, the condition is true and it goes here, 100 percentile 2, it's 0, it will print. And that will be incremented. That will be incremented to 101. And this again, what's happening here? Please tell me. Someone of you. Shall I execute, run? Are you there?
Yes.
Shall I run?
The code will execute till 30th from 100.
Is it? Okay.
And it will print only the 100, 98, 96 something.
See what's the output here? And from where it's coming and where it's going. It started from the very first number and it's not allowing me to go down or up. It's still printing and printing. So this is an infinite loop. This is an infinite loop because 100 is already greater than 30 and we are incrementing it. After every increment, that incremented number will be greater than 100, right? Obviously that will be greater than 30. Then it will go on printing like this. All the even numbers from 100 until infinite. Okay. So this condition is not restricting something. It's going into an infinite loop. Okay, let me just close this cursor because it has already entered into an infinite loop. So this was just an example for you. I have shown the same example in C++, how a program goes into an infinite loop when we do some very little mistake in giving the conditions. So let us try to write a program in Python which will print the first 30 numbers. How can we print the first 30 numbers? Where do we have to start from? We have to start from 1. And what should be our condition?
Less than or
equal to 30. So if we want to visualize this thing in a flow chart, it's here. We have already understood it by using C++ thing, but again, here the initialization will be here. After the initialization, after the initialization, every time the condition will be checked. If this I is less than or equal to 30, yes, it is less than 30, then print and increment and go back. And this will be running and running until I will not be less than or equal to 30, exit and stop. Okay, let us write this program. It's very simple. Where is my Python? Yeah, here. I have the console. Let me take the number I equals 1 and okay, you are giving me something. Okay, then I'll say while I is less than or equals to 30, then sorry, I missed the colon, and print I. And what I have to do is I plus equals 1. Okay, this thing will print all the values from 1 to 30. Okay, yes, it's done. We'll move forward with one last program. Is here we are trying to take a number from a user, create a program that asks the user to enter a number, then uses a while loop to print and add up all the numbers from 1 to that number entered by the user. Okay, for example, I have entered 5. Then the while loop has to start from 1 and run until 5 and has to give me sum from 1 to 5. Okay? Okay, got it? Sorry. So firstly, I'll ask the user to give me a number. The number Okay, int and input and enter x or number. Then I will take the number from the console and I will start I equals 1 and until that number n, um. And what we have to do here? We don't have to print here now, right? What we have to do? We have to do summing, right? How? Let me initialize one variable sum equals 0 here. Now I say sum plus equals I. Am I right? What I'm doing? Sum equals sum plus 1. Okay. The same thing I can write it in the very simple way, like this, short form. Sum plus equals 1. And then I'm incrementing. After this, I will print sum. I hope there are no other compilation errors and indentation errors. Yes, we have done something. Sum plus equals, sorry, this is 1. This is not 1, right? This is I, right? Okay. Yeah. Again.
You have to have a plus and equal. There should not be space.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so let us enter the number 5 and it gave me sum from 1 to 5, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus and so on. Likewise, we can calculate sum of n numbers that is entered by a user. Okay. Here we have another program. This program you might have already seen that we have the Celsius temperature that is given by the user and then we convert it into Fahrenheit, Kelvin and Rankine respectively. So now this program is trying to ask the user to output a table. What table? A table which will give us this following like Celsius, Fahrenheit, Kelvin and Rankine. 4 things in the table. Okay, first thing I'll do that. We need a table, right? I'll not make a table, but just give like this print. What 4 things we need? We need Celsius and just I'll write like this Fahrenheit and Kelvin and Rankine. Okay, these 4 things we want as a table format. We'll be not paying attention to the table format, but just try to solve this problem. Let the Celsius temperature vary from 0 to 100 in steps of 5. So the Celsius temperature is something which will be running from 0 to 100. Okay, where we are starting? Let me remove this. Okay, where we are starting with the Celsius temperature from 0 to 100. This thing we understood. So what should be the initial value of Celsius? It should be 0. Okay, this thing we understood. What should be the end value? It means ending should be checked in the while. C is less than or equals 100. Am I right? Okay, these 2 things we have written already. Okay. We'll move forward. In steps of 5 degrees centigrade, what does this mean? In steps of 5. In steps.
Increase by 5.
Very good. Increase by 5. So I write C plus equals 5. Means C equals C plus 5. C equals C plus 5. Okay. We are incrementing in steps of 5. Each time for each value of C, what we need to have? We need to have the value of F. We need to have the value of K. We need to have, sorry. Okay, we need to have the value of K. Why it's coming break? Okay, I need only K and I need R. I need these three things for each value of C, and for every value of C we need to calculate this. Okay, let me remove this thing, everything here. Okay, yeah. So what's the formula of F? It's 1.8 dot C plus 32. Okay, let me write 1.8 and multiplied by C. This is small c. Actually, it has to be big C. Okay, plus 32. Now I'll not write all these things. Just I write something like this. C plus 2. For simplicity, I'm writing like this. Okay, and in this thing I'll write C plus 3. Each time when the C value is being given, these has to be calculated and printed. Print. What we need to print? We need to print C, and we need to print F, we need to print K, and we need to print R. After that, we have to increment it. So this loop will be running like this. Okay? We are doing good, right? So this is, say we got the values here in the form of a table. You can see here, see? CFKR, it's starting from 0, 5, 10, 15, and so on. And the values are being given here by calculating it from C. I given the dummy formula here. You have to write the actual formula. Yeah, and this is the end of our class. I'll just go to the first slide again to inform the other participants that we'll be having a test this Sunday. Actually, I gave two options to the participants. Either the test will be on Friday or Sunday, and your classmates have chosen Sunday. So we'll have test 1, C++ and Python until the topics that we have covered. And for making it easier for you, I'll be not including the loops today's class and yesterday's class. I mean, class 7 and 8 will not be included in the test until the class 6 will be included. I hope you will do good because you are doing assignments good, mashallah. At the same time, I have to announce that we'll be having project, and the project will be individual basis. Everybody will do one project and I'll be guiding you everywhere. My suggestion for you, my advice for you to use Python with web development. That will give you a very interesting thing, like you will be interacting and you can see what you are doing. If you include web development, I mean HTML, you will see something as an interactive. So this will be good for us. So I'll choose some of the projects for all of you and share it with you. Then you can choose what you want to do. Then I'll guide you, inshallah. Okay, inshallah. Do you have any other doubts? No? So Jazakumullahu khairan kasira for joining with us and for staying so patient. Thank you very much. Inshallah, summa inshallah, we'll join next week in the next class, Tuesday. And our classes will be every Tuesday and Wednesday, 8:15 to 1 hour or more, inshallah. Okay. We'll have test on Sunday. It will be online. I'll share you the links. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, Salam. Thank you.